Hello, we are going to continue this lecture series and finish up the third objective is on differentiating the corporate level strategy. So we are going to look at how the corporate level strategy is different from the business level strategy. So the start different between the two is on the role of this strategy. Now, corporate level strategy is more of to ensure the company's competitive advantage, and it is actually supporting company's business level strategy. If we look at these examples, the magazine for pregnant women. This is actually an example of a magazine meant for pregnant women. So this is also the focus differentiation business level strategy, where it has a very focused market, target market, which is the pregnant ladies, and the content of this magazine is meant for pregnant women, expecting parents, and also to be mum. Yeah. So that is the business level strategy. Now the corporate level strategy that can be adopted for this magazine may be by making it internationalized. Yeah. Providing licensing agreement to magazine provider in other countries to have the rights to produce and also to market this magazine. Times magazine, okay, for instance, have issued the Asian news, okay, copies meant for the Asian readers. Yeah. So this magazine can most probably adopted the internationalization strategy such as licensing to further strengthen the business strategy that it has adopted. Now, this would be different for this magazine, because for this magazine, I would say that the target market is quite huge. Yeah? Malay children, which is a mass market, would be the target market for this kind of magazine. The texts are in Malay, and it's a comic meant for easy reading for children, and it is a magazine that try to inculcate a good behavior, good or knowledge that is aligned to good behaviors. Therefore, the market is quite mass. So the business level strategy that you may adopt it most probably is cost leadership. However, you can also adopt a differentiation strategy, because this kind of comics would not be read by just any children who have parents who are sensitive to discipline, trying to teach good behaviors, would definitely opt for this kind of magazine. Now, anyway, the corporate level strategy that it can adopt most probably is also licensing, where it can offer different regions, different countries to make use of its calligraphic production and but change the language so that it fits with the country that it is being marketed. So these are examples of how corporate level strategies would be able to strengthen the business level strategy. Further emphasizing on what I had elaborated just now on the different corporate level strategies, other than vertical integration and internationalization strategy, you can also have the concentration on just a single industry, where the corporate producing a very specific and high technology specific product would just concentrate on a single industry. For example, a clear example would be the Islamic banking. For Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, it has to strengthen actually its competitive position in its current industry when it's offer its Islamic product, either in the banking or insurance business. So it needs to invest its profit to ensure it becomes the leader in this industry, because at the moment there are many more other banks who are actually interested to market and to offer the similar banking system. However, obviously, when you talk about Islamic banking, a bank with an acknowledged as having the ownership of an Islamic word would be a most sought after banking by any Muslim customers. And as I mentioned earlier, we also have vertical integration corporate level strategy, where a company strategize its operation either looking backward or moving forward in order to expand a company's operation. Backward vertical integration means the industry made its responsibility on the inputs to produce its product, and when one adopt a forward vertical integration, is actually involving making responsible towards the distribution, the usage, and the selling of its product. Now, this is just an illustration of what we mean by backward and forward. So if I were to explain for Asia, a forward integration means it adopts and it is, taking responsibility about how it sells its product. So they build up their online purchasing. Yeah. And then how the product reach, is used by its customers. They build up the Tune Hotel. And they also establish Skybus. Yeah. And these additional services actually helps to encourage the usage of its product. Now, that is forward integration. Now, when we talk about backward integration, Asia also had some investment, such as they were once intend to build their own airport. Yeah, although this idea may not be realized. Yeah, but there was an idea of setting up their own airport. Yeah, in Nilai, remember? And then they also establish connecting flights. They establish new flight routes. New flights routes. Now we can travel from Penang direct to Macau with the establishment of Penang, Bangkok, and then Bangkok, Macau. So AirAsia route from Bangkok, Macau actually helps add more users than just having Penang direct to Macau. So the route from Bangkok to Macau, Penang to Bangkok, increase the usage of AirAsia from Bangkok to Macau. Yeah. Now, another corporate level strategy that can be adopted is diversification, which is expanding a company's business operation into new business in order to produce new kinds of valuable goods or services. Now, it can be related or unrelated. Example of a related diversification is ayam KFC venturing into opening ayam mas outlet. That is related because both are actually related to the core business of KFC, which is dealing with chicken. An unrelated diversification would be like Proton, and then Proton opening up a bank, Eon Bank, to at first actually to assist purchases of Proton cars. Yeah. And I've mentioned about international expansion. I've mentioned about licensing. Yeah. So if a company can also have a corporate level strategy which involve internationalization, but you can actually adopt a global strategy where company do not acknowledge differentiation in the customers, ignoring national differences, but it can also adopt a multi-domestic strategy where an organization actually acknowledge differences. For instance, Nestle who produce food always need to be attentive to the different tastes that exist in different countries. An example that I like to use is in producing tomato soup. Now, a tomato soup that is produced in India, the tin tomato soup by Nestle for India would be definitely different from a tomato soup that is sold in Turkey. Yeah, in terms of taste, in terms of color, in terms of thickness, it's not the same. Turkey would have a lighter thickness of tomato soup as compared to tomato soup that is sold in India. And tomato soup sold in India will be more orange in color than tomato soup sold in any other countries in the world by Nestle. So these are 4 different ways of internationally expansion. Strategic alliance, you can wholly own foreign subsidiary, you can do import and exporting, and you can also do licensing and franchising. Now, that would sum up the different level of the different way of strategizing one strategy to achieve the planning that an organization have done. So the business level strategy as answering the question on how one should compete, and the corporate level strategy is actually strengthening the business strategy that is adopted and looking at the overall overview of the corporate strategy. So thank you, and see you soon in the next lecture.